Italy, the country of perfect food, rich cultural heritage, delicious coffee, and exquisite design. But is it any good to start your business there today? Let's talk about it now! Hi, I'm Oliver, and welcome back to the channel Ask Me Startup, where we talk about startups, small businesses, and the world that surrounds them. If you're new here, please consider subscribing and pushing the notification bell so YouTube lets you know whenever we're uploading new content. If you're deep into startups and start your own business or have a small business, please feel free to download a free startup checklist, link in the description below. Okay, today's topic, Italy. Is it any good to start a business there today? What do you know about Italy? Which famous brands pop into your mind? Maybe Ferrari? Maybe Versace? What else? So Italy, this South Central European country with its boot-shaped borders, is world famous for its touristic destinations. It has 60 million inhabitants, with the capital being Rome, the largest city of the country. But then of course you have Venice, a unique, one-of-a-kind city in the world that attracts tourists like you've never seen before. But the topic of today is it any good to start your business there? And then we have to deal with a situation that is maybe not the most favorable one in Europe. Let's talk about more details. Italy is not known for its entrepreneurial spirit, even though it has brought up those very well-known world brands. But today, people have difficulties to develop startups in the country because they are lacking the surroundings for it. There's not enough capital, there's not enough support from the government. And reality is, it is really, really bureaucratic in this country. Then, make matters worse, Italian people are not entrepreneurial. What they're actually looking for is a job that they don't like for 30 years to get a proper pension afterwards. Which is another topic that is also very important to know when you talk about Italy. It's working laws. If you employ people in Italy, it is almost impossible to fire them. Which of course makes it hard to start a business because you never know how it's going to progress. And if you can't fire people when you need them to go just because your startup maybe isn't working the way you expect it to work, things can get crazy. I want to give you an example. IKEA, not a startup, right? They wanted to build one of their large retail stores close to Rome. They were asking the government for permission, and it took them 7.5 years until they've given up, because in that time the government wasn't able to provide them with the right to construct their building. Now this is really typical for Italy because bureaucracy kills everything. You do not want to be in a country where the bureaucracy is so bad. Furthermore, this is one of the most corrupt countries in Europe. People will not say so. And Italy, being one of the largest, economies in Europe, still struggles really, really, really bad with the mafia and the like. So Italy has a GDP of 39,000 roughly US dollars, which is way less than France. I'm going to link a video up here for France if you want to take a look. Or of course Germany, and of course much lower than Switzerland, its north neighbor. But why is that? People say if you start a business in the US, you start in a small garage and you make it big afterwards, like Tesla, like Apple, or anything like this. Whereas in Italy, people start in a garage and they stay in the garage. That shows the mentality shift. Then, the availability of labor and properly educated people actually is, in theory, there because they have very good universities, very good education, and they are, of course, embedded in the whole European system of universities. But due to the fact that there are no jobs available in Italy, due to the surrounding factors, young people, well-educated people, leave the country by the thousands. They usually work somewhere in Germany, Switzerland, France, Netherlands, you name the country, they will not be in Italy. That of course makes it really, really hard, to get the right people. Even though people would love to come back, they're not sure if it's really worth for them to come back just to risk living a startup that might go bust in the next 6 months. Then another topic you should be aware if you want to do business in Italy is it is a very hierarchical structure. Usually Italians do not have the biggest team spirit on the planet. They have one big boss that tells everybody what to do, and then it's gonna be executed. So team meetings are, I would say, different to what we would do in Switzerland, or maybe you would do in your country, in your situation. But then there's also good things. So one essential part in Italian culture is food. It's famous, right? Everybody has had a pizza in his life. Everybody most likely has tried pasta in his life. But if you are, this work enthusiast that wants to dig in deep and take a homemade sandwich you eat in front of the computer over noon, people go like, what's this guy doing? These lunch meetings actually can be very, very successful. But you have to accept the culture, you have to go with those people, and then you get those interconnections with the people, and you get things done over lunch as well. It's just a different way of doing business. And then I have to repeat myself, because you cannot actually fire people. That is due to the law. And that actually is in combination with a rather underdeveloped work ethics. Yes, people might say, no, that's not true. But reality is many people, and I've been there personally, okay? I am very much into Italians because I have a lot of connections, personal connections to Italy. The reality is, if you have a standard job, you are just there to do your hours and then go back. You don't care about all the details, etc. There are some people that have the passion to do so, but the general population is just happy to get around, and they are happy to have a job because, the unemployment rate is insane. This, in combination with the bureaucracy, actually kills all the entrepreneurial spirit in Italy. So people do not have the drive or the will to start businesses. I'm not saying they're not existing, because in every country you will find startups. But it is not as such that the overall situation would allow or thrive for startups to go to this country and develop something great, something new for them. Then next thing you should be aware of is that usually today everything is internet-based, e-commerce based. You have big companies all around the world, and markets are developed and used to buy online. Italy is different. If you want to sell something through the internet, you will have a hard time to do so in Italy, which means that the Italian market is not really for you. To give you a comparison, Italy is, of course, way less developed than the US or UK, but it's even worse than Germany, France, or Spain. People do not trust online businesses. People do not trust anyone in Italy because they get screwed over so often. Hence, they rather go to a shop to get the stuff there than order online. Now, that trust or that habit is shifting with the younger generations, but it takes time, and it is far, far behind anything that we would see as an average in Europe. So keep that in mind, because if you think about selling, not even starting a business in Italy, but maybe having an online business you want to sell to Italians, you might be into trouble. All right, Italy. So is it worth to start a business there? I would say if you're in the fashion industry, you might want to try the northern part of Italy, which is actually the more educated part or the better developed part. But in reality, Italy is not the place to start your business. I know it sounds harsh, and I might get some disagreement here, but most of the time, you're better off going to Switzerland, Italian-speaking part, Ticino, which actually would allow you to do the same things in the same language, but maybe with a better set and a better overall environment. All right, everybody. What were your expectations on Italy? What were your experience with Italy? Just drop a comment down below. I'm really looking forward to discuss this with you, and I see you next time.